My name is John, KK4JJK. You are on the East Coast Reflector, and this is the Open Mic Net, where new or not so new hams who have not had net control experience can sign up and run a net just like I'm doing right now. And it's pretty easy. You don't have to do any logging. I've got Jason, K4KU, doing my logging, and also I have Mark, KG2EDS, as the facilitator tonight, so all I have to do is sit back and talk to you folks tonight. And if you'd like to check in to the net, it's you can do one of two ways. You can wait for the general call-in, or an easier way is just to text your call sign to 716-317-9050, and we'll get you on the list in order, and we're about piling up, and with all the people. So we do have a question of the night. The question of the night is, how many call signs have you had? So, I've already got a few text check-ins, but I'm going to ask for a general check-in. You can call now, and please give me your call sign twice and slowly so that Jason can get you on the log. So please call now. To acknowledge the following text check-ins that have already checked in via the text line. Once again, you can do that at 716-317-9050. And you just text your call sign and we'll get you on the list. So the following people have already checked in via text. I have NY1US, that's Norm in South Wales, New York. KQ8U, that's Bob in Ecorse, Michigan. And KF8EDQ, Michael in Saginaw, Michigan. And we will go to the top of the list with Norm. Norm, the question of the night is, how many call signs have you had?
Good evening, John, and thanks for running the net. Good evening, Terry and Mark and Jason. Hope everybody's having a good night tonight. And I made 4 call signs. In the 70s, I had WB2LQB. Then I changed to, I let my license lapse. I had to take a retest, and I became KC2DAS. Then I changed back to WB2LQB again. And finally, I changed to W2NWT for a while, and now it's NY1US. So that's my story, and I'm sticking to it, John. So have a good night, and thanks for doing that. NY1US.
Norm, thanks for that history that you got there. I myself have just changed my call sign, and now I'm double thinking myself. I was KE2FCA when I first got licensed back just in May of this year, and I wanted my initials, so I went outside my region. I'm in call region 2, and I'm now KK4JJK, and so far reaction has been mixed because people just got to know me as KE2FCA, and now they're like, what is that call sign? I'm like, I don't know. So I'm not sure I made the right choice, but I'm planning on taking the extra exam soon, so maybe I'll change it again. I don't know. Anyway, let's go to the next person on the list. Bob in Ecorse, Michigan, KQ8U. Bob, how many call signs have you had?
Good evening, John, and the rest of the crew. If you count my GMRS number, that would be 3. I had my original call sign I got when I was licensed in 2003, and then later in 2003, I got an extra class. That's when I changed to my current call sign. Everybody have a good evening. KQ8U, back to that.
Yeah, I'm anxious to get the extra call sign, but then I was looking on one of those websites where it tells you what's available, and I wasn't really happy with what's there. So I think I'm just going to stick with what I have for now, and either people are going to get used to it, or well, they're going to get used to it because that's what it is right now. Next on the list is Michael. He's in Saginaw, Michigan, and he is KF8EDQ. Michael, the question of the night is, how many call signs have you had?
I am on vacation this week still. I'm in Iosco County, Michigan, on the Osable River, and I'm staring out at the water, and a couple of my friends joined me here, so we're all listening in to the Reflector. To answer the question, I'm still new to the whole radio, ham radio scene, and I stuck with my original automatic sign call sign, which is KF8EDQ, and it seems to roll off my tongue just fine, so I think I'll stick with it. Plans are changing it, so I'll say 73s, I'll pass the next. Thanks again, and this is KF8EDQ.
Thanks for checking in, and enjoy the rest of your vacation out there. Sounds like a great time. All right, we've reached the end of the text check-ins. Why don't we get some people to call in and join the net tonight. Just give your call sign twice and slowly now, and we will get you on the list. Or, again, you can text your check-in to 716-317-9050, and Jason will get you in there. General check-ins, please call your call sign twice and slowly, please.
KO4FRR, KO4FRR.
VK3AWA, VK3AWA. K3KEZ, VK3KEZ. WB2JPQ, WB2JPQ. Kilo 6 Lima November India, K6 LNI. Kilo Charlie 2, Delta Juliet. Kilo Charlie 2, Delta Juliet.
Up there, I've got KO4FRR, Joe out in Sorrento, Florida. Thanks for checking in tonight. And VK3AWA, Daryl, out in Paradise Beach, down under. And another person from down under, Brian in Cornella, I believe it's, I think I got that right, Cornella? VK3KEZ, Brian. We all know Dick, WB2JPQ, the Godfather here at the East Coast Reflector. K6LNI, Lancelot out in Hayward, California, and KC2DJ, Bob in Babylon, New York. Let's go to the top of the list. Joe, KO out in Sorrento, Florida. Joe, how many call signs have you had?
Good evening, everybody. Good job, John. This is Joe, KL4FRR. If we're considering ham radio, 1, because I don't have a vanity, but if you wanted to mark GMRS as 1, that would be 2. Talk to you guys later. KL4FRR.
You know, I'm so new to this hobby, I don't even know what GMRS is. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm seriously, 2.5, 3 months into this, and I just have a couple of handhelds. In fact, I'm doing this net from a handheld on my front porch, so that's how awesome this is. You can just, Michael out there in Saginaw, you just be on vacation, or you can be wherever and just key up and join the East Coast Reflector. That's how great this thing is. And you can use Echolink, if you're on your phone. So that's just an awesome thing to have, and I'm really enjoying this so far. Next up on the list is Daryl out in Paradise Beach, Australia, VK3 AWA. Question of the night, Daryl, how many call signs have you had?
Good evening, John and Vanette. I had 5, and currently I have 3. In this country, you can hold multiple call signs. So I hold 3 at the moment. The K3 AWA, AWB, and AWC. Back to you. John, doing a great job.
Daryl 73, thanks for that information. I guess I have a follow-up question, if that's okay with you. Why are you allowed 3 call signs? Back to you, Daryl.
No idea, but the regulator deems it that you can have multiple call signs. Maybe it was because I was getting revenue for each call sign, but they waived that revenue this year, so call signs are now free. So a lot of people got multiple call signs, and it helps when hunting parks, poder activators. You can give them multiple call signs for their log. Okay, so that's my answer, John. Back to you.
That's it. In case you just stepped into the East Coast Reflector, you are listening to the open mic net here. My name is John, KK4JJK. I've got the first half hour till 8:30, and then after that, Terry will be taking over N5RTC, and he'll do from 8:30 till 9 p.m. Next up on the list is Brian out in Cornella, Australia, Victoria, Australia, VK3KEZ. Brian, how about you? How many call signs have you had? That's the question of the night.
Roger there. I've had 2 call signs. I passed my limited license in 1969, and then 10 years later I got past slow morse, which was only about to get the KZ, and since the regulations changed, my license is now a full license because we've dropped CW in Australia. VK3KEZ by.
All right, Brian. Yeah, I know that I've heard so many people talk about CW and how it used to be a requirement here in the U.S. And you can go both ways. I mean, it opened up the hobby for so many other people who didn't have the desire or the motivation to learn CW. I guess that's unfortunate in some ways and fortunate in another. But yeah. Next up on the list is WP2JP2 Dick out in Eve, New York. Dick, what about you? How many call signs have you had?
Good evening, John, and everybody. Thanks for coming up. I think your second or third time for doing the second cup. We certainly appreciate it. Mark and Jason are really doing a good job getting your team together.
Two. Two in 60 plus years. And don't plan on changing anytime soon. Back to you. Still looking beat to JPQ.
Yeah, just 2 in 60 years. Okay, well, I've got 2 in 3 months, so maybe I'll end up keeping this one for another decade or so. We'll see. Lancelot out in Hayward, California is next. K6LNI. Question of the night, Lancelot. How many call signs have you had?
I've had 3. This is the 3rd. The first one back somewhere in 95 or 96 out of Washington State. So that one was KC7 VFN. And then I decided I'd go take me a test again sometime in 2023. And then that call sign was KN6, ZEE, like a zebra. So I didn't like that call sign, so I made one up that'll stand K6LNI, which stands for LNI, Lancelot and Evelyn, my wife. So 3 total, and I won't change it. I'll just leave it as is. Back to you, K6LNI.
All right, thanks, Lancelot. Appreciate you checking in tonight. We've come to the bottom of the list. Bob out in Babylon, New York, KC2DJ. Bob, how many call signs have you had?
Yeah, hello to everyone on the net. This is Bob, KC2DJ. I have had 2 call signs. First one when I had my technician and general license, which was many years ago. I was KA2FDG. And then when I upgraded and the ARRL still offered an advanced class license, I took the exam for that and got my current call sign of KC2DJ, and I've kept that since then. I was out of the hobby for a little while and got back into it about 5 years ago, and I'm going to be studying for my advanced class license, but I think I'd like to keep the call sign of KC2DJ. So that'll limit me to 2 call signs. All right, back down to control. Thanks all.
Okay, Bob, yeah, thanks for that, 73. Just a couple announcements before we make some more check-ins. Don't forget, Friday night, we have a youth net starting at 8 p.m., so if you like nets, come out and support our youth who are participating in the nets, 8 p.m. on Friday. And then also, my favorite net is the trivia net, and that's on Saturdays starting at 11 p.m. here on the East Coast Reflector. Right now you're listening to the Open Mic Net. My name is John. I've got this first half hour here, and then Terry will be taking over the second half of the net N5RTC. So let's call for some more check-ins. If you want to check into the net tonight, please give your call sign twice, and slowly, please. Give your call sign now. K8BWK, K8BWK.
VE3BZ, VE3BZ.
Ruben in Fallbrook, North County, San Diego. Good evening.
November 2, Echo 3 X-ray Delta Bravo, and Victor Echo 3 X-ray Delta Bravo.
N0TIS. N0TIS.
AR4 FLZ Kilo Romeo 4 Foxtrot Lima Zulu Brandon in Winter Springs, Florida.
Kilo 2 Charlie Mike Tango.
November 1, Whiskey Echo Bravo. November 1, Whiskey Echo Bravo.
Same, please. Stop right there and acknowledge the following check-ins. I've got KQ4GLY Chris in Parrish, Florida. K8BWK Ben out in Oregon, Ohio. VE3BZ Kevin in Victoria Harbor, Ontario, my neighbor to the north here. KB6CWI Ruben in Fallbrook, California. VE3XDB Doug in Kitchener, Ontario. N0TIS Otis in Beaumont, Texas. KR4FLZ, looks like you're new to the system. We'll go, the next person is KC2MT, Mike in DeBary, Florida. N1WEB, Webb in Collierville, Tennessee. And VE8BKY, Vicky in Lambertville, Michigan. Let's go to the top of the list, KQ4GLY, Chris in Parrish, Florida. Chris, the question of the night is, how many call signs have you had?
Good evening, John, everyone on the net. I just had one. Back to you.
Next up is Ben out in Oregon, Ohio. K8BWK. Ben, how about you? How many call signs have you had?
John and everyone on the open mic night. It'll be 2 for me. I've been almost a licensed ham for 5 years. I originally was KE8QZM. Had that for almost a year and went with my initials, K8BWK. Everyone have a good evening. Thanks, John, and evening to Kevin north of the border. K8BWK. Evening. Appreciate you checking in tonight. Kevin, up in Canada, Victoria Harbor, Ontario, not too far from Buffalo, where I am right now. VE3BZ. Kevin, how about you? How many call signs have you had?
Good evening, John and everyone, and hello, Ben. I have had 2 call signs, and I still have 2 call signs, actually. My original call, VA3KVI, and VE3BZ. And I guess we're similar to Australia. We can have multiple call signs. And I don't know the reason for that, but we just can. Anyhow, good job on the net, and back to you, VE3BZ.
Very interesting, and as the other gentleman from Australia had said, it makes for an interesting thing when you're doing like a park activation. You can have multiple calls and help people out. I don't know, it's just a little odd, but that's the way it is, right? Ruben in Fallbrook, California is next. KD6CWI. Ruben, question of the night, how many call signs have you had?
CWI Ruben in Fallbrook, North County, San Diego. First of all, thank you for doing the net, sir. And good evening to everyone. It's a pleasure to be here. I only have one call sign, and the reason I can't change it because my family is in love with the call sign. I wanted to change it to a 1x2 or a 2x1. More than likely, I won't be able to change it. So that's it. Stay safe, stay healthy, enjoy life, and God bless. 73 KD6 CWI.
Hey, Ruben, hey, when your family says it's a good call sign, it's absolutely sticking with that one. And easy to speak. It rolls off the tongue, right? Back from San Diego back up to Canada, we got Doug in Kitchener, Ontario. PE3XDB. Doug, how about you? Questions, right? How many call signs have you had?
Good evening, this is PE3XDB. Well, I've had 3 in my 35 years as a ham. My original call sign is this one, Victor Echo 3 X-Ray Delta Bravo. When we went out west and I was in Alberta for a couple of years, I was Victor Echo 6 Delta Papa, Delta Papa Bravo. And then we came back to Ontario and I got my VE3XDB back again. But then I was looking for another call sign that would be better for CW. So I also have VE3 India Delta. And I use that I've been using that for CW for 12 or 15 years. Back to you from VE3XDB.
Interesting. Yeah. So I guess if you're doing the CW, that makes a lot of sense. And people who do a lot of that type of contesting and things like that, then it makes a lot of sense for them. Otis out in Beaumont, Texas, N0TIS. Otis, how about you? How many call signs have you had?
Good evening. This is N0TIS, Otis in Beaumont, Southeast Texas. And I've had 2. My original one was KJ5DHQ. And it was okay. I didn't have any qualms with that. It was pretty good. But I just thought it'd be neat to have my name, so I went snooping around and I found a previous ham that had N0TIS, and believe it or not, it was not a vanity. It was his original call sign, and I thought, wow, that's kind of neat, because it said Notice, and my name is Otis, so it worked out. So now I guess you can notice Otis. Back to the net. N0TIS. Good evening, everybody.
Story. Yeah, I just for some reason just noticed that now. I noticed Otis and your call sign. Brandon, we've got a next person on our list here is Brandon KR4FLZ. Brandon, looks like you're new to the system, and if you want our newsletter from East Coast Reflector, you just go to bit.ly/ECR subscribe, and we'll get a newsletter out to you. So, Brandon, question of the night, how many call signs have you had? This is going to KR4FLZ. Brandon, go ahead.
Thank you. Yeah, good evening, everyone. Yeah, I've only had the one. I just got my ham technician license yesterday, officially issued from the FCC yesterday. I've had a GMRS license for 6 months or so. So yeah, technically 2. Yeah, 2. KR4FLZ, back to net control.
to EDS, also facilitating, so it's a really easy thing to do. And believe it or not, that's my half an hour. I am done, and I'm handing this over to Terry, who's N5RTC. He's going to take over for the next half an hour here on the Open Mic Net. I appreciate everybody, all the people behind the scenes for making this happen, and all of you out there who made it really easy for me tonight, so I appreciate it. 73, this is John, KK4JJK, handing over to Terry, N5RTC.
Thanks, John. Great job. I'm Terry, N5RTC, and it's my treat to welcome you to Open Mic Net 20 1/2, or more accurately, the second half of Open Mic Night 20 here on the East Coast Reflector. If you'd like to follow along what we're doing, go to bit.ly/ECR logs and click on Open Mic Night. You can view a list of stations in the queue and read their answers to tonight's question. So what's tonight's question? How many ham call signs have you held? To get us started, I'm on my 4th since 1978. I'm on my 3rd since I became a technician. Go figure. John, thank you for leaving some folks in the queue. You've made my job really easy. Let's start with Mike in DeBerry, Florida, K2CMT. John, how many licenses have you held?
And John, I think you've done a real fine job there tonight. Thank you for participating in Open Mic, both of you. I've had 2 call signs since I began ham radio. And the first one was the one that the FCC issued me, which was KM4PUQ. And I don't know about you guys, but that one just didn't run off my lips and kept me tongue-tied for the first day or 2. And I don't think it was 3 days I was applying for a vanity. Is how I ended up with K2CMT, which is my initials. It's also when I want to disobey the phonetic alphabet, I come off with Charlie Mike Tango or Country Music Television. Everyone have a good evening. This is K2CMT, Mike in DeBerry, Florida.
Yeah, Mike, I apologize. I called you John. Hopefully you're not too mad about that. Let's move on to Webb in Collierville, Tennessee, N1WEB. Webb, how many ham call signs have you had?
Thank you, Terry, and good evening to the net. This is the first time I'm checking into the Wednesday night Open Mic Net, and I'm glad to be here. You're doing a great job, and John was doing a good job too. And I've had 3 call signs. The first was KC4 Romeo Bravo Yankee, and I quickly changed that to KC4 WED, which is the initials for my last name. But more importantly than that, Webb was my dad's nickname, so I really kind of like, I took my dad's nickname and put it into my call sign. And then after a while, I was able to upgrade that call sign to N1WEB, and that's where I am today. And I plan to keep this one for a while, so 3 call signs. Thanks for running the net. No, this is the first time I've checked into D-Star in a long time on this net, so I'm glad to be able to do that too. N1WEB, back to the net.
Webb, thank you very much. That's a great story about your call sign. Thank you for sharing that with us.
I'm going to move on to some text check-ins. If you'd like to check in using our text feature, text your call sign and only your call sign to 716-317-9050. Jason will put you on the log and I'll call on you. So our next ham is Vicky in Lambertville, Michigan. You've all heard of her if you've been on any of the nets because it seems like she's everywhere. KE8VKY. Vicky, how many ham licenses have you held?
Hello, I've had 2. My first given one was K8QQF. Intuit dyslexic, that was just trouble waiting to happen. So, K8VKY, have a good night.
Thank you, Vicki. My wife was an academic language therapist and worked with people who had dyslexia, so I can only imagine the problems you had with that call sign. Next up is Mark in Plymouth, Minnesota, N0CKV. Mark, how many hand licenses have you held?
Evening, Terry, and the rest of the net. I've had 2. My first one was WB0VAF, which was too much of a mouthful for me. And I don't remember when I switched and got N0CKV, but I'm perfectly happy with that and plan to keep it. N0CKV back to net.
Thank you, Mark. If you like that call sign, don't change it. Our next ham is Alan in Kendall, New York, N2ZVN. Alan, how many ham licenses have you held?
Oh, good evening, Terry. Everyone on the net tonight. Fantastic job, you guys. Always good. You sound professional. Just one in my 31 years being a ham. I thought about changing it, but no, I've stuck with it. And I figure it's the end of the end, 2 calls, so why not? I'll just keep it. Although it is a little awkward sometimes for people to hear it correctly. At any rate, everyone have a good evening. And 2 is at the end. Back to the net.
Thank you, Alan. I realized, actually I got a text message from someone. I realized that I had not been acknowledging the text check-ins, so let me do that before I call on you for your answer to the question of the night. Jason in Atlanta, K4KU. Randy in West Seneca, New York, W2RBC. Mark in Elma, New York, KE2EDS. That should ring a bell. I think I've heard of that call sign before. Jim in Easton, Pennsylvania, KN3ATQ. Ray in La Follette, hope I pronounced that right, Tennessee, K14RAY. Then there's Roger in Umatilla, Florida, KO4QMM. Ray in Orlando, Florida, K1MCO, and finally Carlos in Hollywood, Florida, N1CBM. Now, having done that and having done my duty, Jason in Atlanta, K4KU, how many ham licenses have you held?
Yeah, good evening, Terry. Great to have you on the net with us tonight. John did an excellent job as well. And I've actually had 3 ham radio call signs. My first automatically assigned was KQ4ZTG. I didn't like that one, but I only had it for 2 days because then I upgraded to General and Extra and got KZ4OT, which the Z didn't work for me either. So I finally did the K4KU and I'm sticking with it. This is Jason, back to net control.
Jason, it's interesting. With your call sign, I have no trouble remembering you. I pick up on the KU, which is Kansas University, or the University of Kansas. I didn't go there. I went to Kansas State University, but that KU always catches my attention. Let me just do what the FCC requires. This is N5 RTC, and you're listening to the Open Mic Net on the East Coast Reflector. Looking at the queue, our next ham is Randy in West Seneca, New York, W2RBC. Now, I bet those were your initials, Randy, but I could be wrong. Tell us about how many ham call signs you've had.
Good evening, Terry, and everyone on the Open Mic Net. I've had 2 call signs. My original was KD2YXB, and that didn't work very well for de-exiting. So I changed it to my current call sign of W2RBC, and I'm going to stick with that. It's actually the initials of my business. Back to net control, 73 to all, W2RBC.
Well, I'm glad I didn't bet any money on the last 3 letters in your call sign, because I should have lost. I would have lost. Next up is Mark, our host for this evening's net. Mark in Elma, New York, K2EDS. Good evening, Mark. How many ham call signs have you had?
Well, good evening, Terry. You're doing a great job. And John, you did a great job as well. I am on my second call sign, my original call sign, KB2JUP, was issued to me in 1981. After a hiatus of ham radio, I ended up losing my ticket, and I recently re-upped last year. Have a great evening, and again, keep up the great work, KE2EDS.
Well, if I may digress here for a moment, you know, have you ever dreamed about being a net controller? It sounds funny, doesn't it? It sounds funny to me as I say it. We'd love to make that happen. Just visit bit.ly/ECR Open Mic and follow the instructions. You don't need any experience. We have great loggers like Jason, and best of all, we won't let you fail. Again, that's bit.ly/ECR Open MIC. Not MIKE, but MIC. You won't be getting to anything. You'll just be asking for more information. And I've got to tell you, and I think probably anyone who's done the Open Mic Night will tell you, it's a kick. So, after that commercial, moving on,
Let's call on Jim in Easton, Pennsylvania, KD3ATQ. Jim, how many ham licenses have you had?
Good evening, Terry and Jason. Thank you for logging. Being relatively new, this is the one they issued, and it's not so bad. I'll probably stick with it as I upgrade. Back to you, Terry, KD3ATQ.
Well, I finally got a call sign. I mentioned earlier that I'd had 3 just since I've been a technician. I finally got a call sign that I can remember because RTC are my initials. It's heck when you're 79 years old and, can't remember things very well. Next on the list is Ray in La Follette, Tennessee. Ray, tell me if that's right, please. KI4RAY. How many ham licenses have you had, sir? Ray, we hear a carrier, but no audio. If you want to take a look at what might be causing that, I'll go down the list, catch the next 3, and then hopefully Jason or someone will remember or will remind me to come back to you. Give you one last chance on this time through the list, Ray. How many ham licenses have you had? All right. We'll come back to you, Ray, and see if you can answer tonight's question. KO4QMM, Roger in Matilla, Florida. Roger, how many ham licenses have you had?
Well, good evening to you. I do believe it's Terry and the Wednesday night open mic crew there. You can put me down for 1. The KO4QMM just seemed to roll off my tongue when I got it, and it seems to help me out in some pile-ups when I can throw the mic out there. And on top of that, I just looked, and I got 8,181 QSOs in just under 5 years. So, yeah, I don't think I'm going to change anything. You guys sound good, having fun tonight. KO4QMM, clear.
Well, Roger, I'm impressed. I don't work high frequency. I just do UHF and VHF, All-Star, and a few of the digital modes. I can't imagine having that many QSOs. Congratulations again. Next on the list is Jay in Orlando, Florida, one of 3 Floridians who signed in using the text line. K1 MCO. Jay, how many ham licenses have you had?
Well, good evening, Terry, and good evening to everybody on the net tonight. I have 2 call signs. It's gonna be about. When I got my technician, my first call was KQ4GIC, and I think that I applied for the vanity call sign the next day or 2 after I got my technician license. My call now is K1MCO, and that's basically honoring the Orlando International Airport. I'm I've been working at the airport for the last 10 to 12 years. My current company, I've been 9. So yeah, that's basically in honor to the Orlando International Airport MCO, better known as McCoy Airfield. Send it back to you, Terry. You have a good night, and thank you for letting me check in. K1MCO, J in Orlando, 73.
Thank you, Jay. That's an interesting story. If I were to do that, the call sign, the last 3 letters that I would be looking for are AUS for Austin Bergstrom International Airport. I see we've got one new text login, Jason in Wildwood, Florida, KR4FEF. Jason, I'll be with you in just a moment. Next on the list is Carlos in Hollywood, Florida, N1 CBM. Carlos, how many ham call signs have you had?
Hello, Terry. Good evening. It's nice to see you on the other side of the net, the controller side. That's great. And I see Jason and Mark over there manning the con, and the rest of the people always present here in this fine net. For me, I've had 2. The first one is the one that the FCC issues you with no question. It was KQ4 UVS. It sounds good. But when you started doing HF and you got all that QRN and all that stuff, trying to break through pileups, KQ4 UVS goes like Kilo Quebec 4 Uniform Victor Sierra, so it's super long, and it does not stick to people's listening to pileups. So I figured I wanted N4 CBM. Since I live in the 4th district, I wanted N4 CBM, which is my initials. But the only one that was available was N1. So I took it, and that's the one I am keeping. Well, I'm going to send it back to you, Terry. You're doing a fantastic job here on the open mic night. Good night.
Thank you, Carlos. Appreciate you letting us know, and I just wanted to mention this is N5RTC, and you're listening to the open mic net number 20 and 1/2 on the East Coast Reflector. One more in the queue right now is Jason, and I see a note here that Jason is new. He's from Wildwood, Florida, KR4FEF. How many ham licenses have you had, Jason? Jason, are you still with us? KR4FEF. No joy on that call. Jason, we'll come back to you in just a minute. Let me go back to Ray in Tennessee, KI4RAY. How many ham licenses have you held, Ray? Okay, well, next, checking in on the text line at 716-317-9050 is Kevin, K2IV in Syracuse, New York. Kevin, how many ham call signs have you had?
Well, very good evening, Terry, from K2IV in Syracuse, New York. I've had 3 call signs. A novice call sign from 1966, WN2 as ZMS, Zulu Mike Sierra, and then from then until 2000, I had 2001 at WB2JOD, Juliet Oscar Delta, and then I got my new call sign after I upgraded to Extra and I went for a Vanity. So I've had three. I've had 4 classes of license, but 3 call signs from K2IV.
Thank you. Whenever I hear your call, I think of flying. Since I hear you talking about it on the ECR, so whenever I hear your call, I can always remember your name, what you do for your number 2 hobby, I would guess, and it's easy for me to remember. So thank you.
No, I appreciate that, Terry. And yes, flying is a 20-year hobby that I've been into. Wish I had started much younger, but turns out that's the way it is. Yeah, a hobby, strictly recreational, but I do enjoy the daylights out of it. Best of 73, and you're doing great tonight from 2IV.
Thanks very much, Kevin. Let me do this. I've got 3 more people who have checked in on the text line, and I've been reminded that I have not called for on-air check-ins. So, let's begin with mobile check-ins. If anybody out there is cruising around the town with your windows down and stereo cranked up, do us a favor and turn the volume down a bit, then come with your call sign, twice and slowly. Did I just show my age by, say, cruising downtown? Oh well. Mobile stations, please check in now.
EG7, NWZ, Kilo Golf 7, November Whiskey Zulu, Vancouver, Washington.
Whiskey Bravo 8, Oscar Delta Foxtrot, WB8 ODF.
Okay, I think that's it. In the queue right now is N0 MSS, Ross in Wahpeton, hope that was right, North Dakota, N2BH, Bill in Palmyra, New York, a fellow Texan, Scott in Houston, N7FGP, and then checking in when I called for mobiles are KG7NWZ, Don in Vancouver, Washington, and finally W80ODF, Dave in Ypsilanti, Michigan. Let's go back and see if Jason in Wildwood, Florida is still with us. KR4FEF. Jason, how many ham licenses have you held? Well, no contact. Jason, if you're still listening, come back next week. We'd love to have you participate in Open Mic Net. Ross, N0MSS in Wahpeton. You better tell me what it is before I embarrass myself more. N0MSS, Ross, how many ham licenses have you held? Or how many call signs have you had?
Good evening, Terry, and everybody on the net. You sound like you're having fun, and you're doing a good job on the net tonight.
So my N0MSS call is my second call sign. I was first licensed as a novice, KB0HMY. When I upgraded to technician, I checked the box to get a new call. And since I've did my upgrades, I've kept that through the extra. So put me down for 2. And around here we say Wahpeton so fast you forget the last O. Run the T and N together and Wahpeton. Kind of how we say it. Native American word for tree dwellers, I believe it is. And out walking the dogs tonight. Beautiful night here, about 70 degrees. Had some rain today, so it's kind of humid, but beautiful night walking around Wahpeton. N0MSS, back to net.
Well, Ross, thanks for pronouncing that. I'm sure we'll all be doing elocution exercises later on this evening so that we get it right the next time we talk to you. Next on the list is N2BH, Bill in Palmyra, New York. Bill, how many ham licenses have you had? I did it again. How many call signs have you had? Doggone.
Good evening, Terry, N2BH here. I've had 2 call signs. I got my original K2YEI, and as somebody said, doing HF, boy, the pile-ups and stuff, it's hard to get through, and I wanted something shorter, and after I got my extra, I tried to get my initials, but this was as close as I could get staying in the 2 district, and now I say I need 2 big Harleys. I only have 1. Good job. Have a good night. N2BH.
That's a great explanation. Bill, thank you so much for that. Next up is Scott, a fellow Texan. He's over in the big city of Houston, but he's got a strange call sign, N7FGP. Well, good evening, Scott. How many call signs have you held? Got it right that time.
Well, good evening, Terry, and hello, everyone out there on the net tonight. Yeah, you know, cruising downtown, that was about the time I got my call sign. Yeah, back in about 1980, I got my novice and technician back in Oregon. And, you know, I did let that expire in the 2000 area, sometime around there. And so I retested and got a second call sign, but I immediately applied and got a vanity call sign for my old call sign. So the answer to that question is 2. Thanks for being out there tonight and doing the net, and thanks to John, Mark, and Jason also. 7-3 everyone, N7FGP.
Thank you, Scott. Well, we have 2 more. I'm not calling for any more check-ins. It's after 8 o'clock, or if you want to use GMT. I showed my age again. UTC, it's 104. Next on the list is Dawn in Vancouver, Washington. A place I'd love to visit. It's on my bucket list, but I don't think I'll ever make it. KG7NWZ. Don, how many ham calls have you held? KG7NWZ. Dawn, are you out there? How many call signs have you had?
Well, Don checked in as a mobile, and he may be blasting that stereo as he's cruising the mall parking lot or whatever this evening. So, Don, if you're listening, come back next week. We would love to have you. And finally, Dave in Ypsilanti, Michigan, WB8OGF. Dave, how many hand call signs have you had?
Well, Terry, I'm glad I got in here. I felt bad. I was washing dishes. I felt bad. I ran in here to check in. I did not know you were calling mobile. I have had, I don't know how you work with it. I'm going to go with 2 because I started out N8ODF as a novice. I let my license lapse for a hot second. They came back with, I like this, KD8KXN. That rolls off the lips. I really like that. But I did my vanity call to get back to WB8ODF. So I'm going to say 2. WB8ODF. That's the second one.
Well, thank you, Dave. And thanks everybody who participated in Open Mic Night number 20. I had fun. I think John had fun. Thanks to Mark, KE2EDS, who kind of supervised Jason and I, kept us in line. That's Jason, K4KU, who's been our logger tonight, and me, Terry, N5RTC. Good night from all of us. All right, we're returning the Reflector to regular amateur radio use. 73.